Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Now, in this video, I want to talk about the purpose of this channel. Why am I starting to record videos? What do I intend to do with this channel? So first of all, the purpose of the channel, predominantly I would like to share my life experience, not just show the successes that I've had, but mainly focus on the failures, the expensive lessons in life. Because what I would love to see is people avoiding the same mistakes that I've done in my life, whether it's in business, in life in general, health, fitness, any of the mistakes I've done. I'd like to share them with you and explain to you the reasons behind that failure or that lesson that I've learned, and for you to avoid it. Of course, two people can do the same business. One person can become successful, the other person might not succeed. So it's not a matter of please avoid this type of business, or this is the way to do things. It's very fluid, but to just take precautions when you embark on any journey. That's all it is. And the more people you learn from, the better you become in whichever aspect you choose to go into. So predominantly I'd like to share some of my life experiences and life lessons, and then share knowledge as well. Being a software engineer, being someone that has studied extensively in different topics, not just computer science but also in economics, self-studied in Islam and religion. I've looked into various scriptures as well, with an open mind, and truly seeing what's common between us and building on that. So that's another aspect I would like to share, sharing knowledge. And then I'd like to also, one of the big things is to really start a dialogue. So I'm sharing my opinion, my findings, my conclusions, and likewise I'd like the viewers to contribute to that, whether to give me some constructive criticism, give me their opinion or their findings as well. And ultimately, just like it says in the Quran, by our creator Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there is no compulsion in religion, or the word deen also implies way of life. So there's no compulsion in the way of life. So this is my opinion, this is what I've chosen for myself, this is the conclusions I came up with, and I'm convinced of my my purpose and my direction. However, that does not mean that I should impose my way of life on anyone else. You have to go through your own journey, you have to reflect on things, you have to do your own research. And really what I'm trying to do here is really trying to prompt you to think, and to go on that journey if you haven't already started, and if you haven't reached your final conclusion, or your your own purpose, or your own conviction into the direction that you've chosen for yourself. So yeah, starting dialogue, and then obviously like I also said, sharing the life experience, but I want to really give you a sneak peek into my life, share my journey. I'm now overweight. I'm pretty much at the low point in the health, alhamdulillah, praise be to God. But I would like to share some of my journey on the weight loss, and how I managed to reduce my weight in the past, get into peak health, and at the moment I'm now in the ideal position to say to you, okay, join me on the journey now, where I am at, where I'm overweight. I need to improve my health, I need to improve my fitness level again, need to start on my journey, getting back into shape. So yeah, it'll be a good time to sort of like create some sort of a vlog and show you what I'm doing at the moment, and how I'm progressing. And then likewise you could share your journey, what your findings are, and yeah, we can bounce things off each other. So yeah, the weight loss, business activities as well. I'm self-employed, I've got my own business. So yeah, I'd like to share some of what I'm currently doing on the business side as well, investments, and of course education. Education is a big thing to succeed in any aspect of life. You need to have education, you need to constantly invest, read books, do academic or professional training, constantly learning. You have to be a constant student, and you have to think as a teacher. So when you're studying a topic or you're researching a particular area, you have to think, okay, how can I teach this particular subject to someone else? And that's where you're not only just learning just for yourself, but you're also learning to contribute your knowledge to someone else as well. Pay it forward, basically. So ultimately, the purpose of the channel is really to cover some of my passions in life. So I'll start with that. Really, what am I really passionate about in life? Like I mentioned, religion is a big thing. So Islam, I've been researching that from a very young age. Although I was born a Muslim, but I wanted to sort of take a step back about 35 years ago, just over 35 years ago, and I started to think, what's my purpose in life? Why did Allah create me? Why did Allah create all this? What is the purpose? Why are we here on planet Earth? And what do I have to do? So I have to find out. And it's only an intelligent thing to ask once you reach that mature age. Of course, maturity is different for different people. So yeah, as a young teenager, I started to ask these questions to myself, and I really wanted to find out the answers and the purpose of life. And that's one of the things that drives me as the main passion and the driving force to everything else that I do. And everything else kind of evolves around that purpose of life from Islam. Islam, for those that don't know, means the divine decree or the divine law, the prescription from the Creator. Submit your will to the will of the Creator, and someone who submits their will to the will of the Creator, to the divine law, is called a Muslim. And Islam is not like spirituality or a religion where you have just a relationship between yourself as the creation and the Creator, which is Allah, praying, fasting and all that stuff. It's actually a complete way of life. So it encompasses everything else, from a relationship between each other and of course the other creations, the animal kingdom, the whole environment. There's an economic system, there's a political system, legal system, social system, how to be a good father, how to be a good husband. So it gives you a lot of stuff. There's a lot of knowledge there. It's a massive ocean, and not even a lifetime would be sufficient to study Islam. And having said that, we only try to adopt and learn as much as we can in this lifetime, and obviously implement as much as we can to our best of ability. And it's through the mercy of Allah that we will attain paradise. But we shouldn't be just I'm actually advocating, this is my own thing that I'm advocating, that we shouldn't be just aiming to be good because we want to attain some sort of a reward in the afterlife and go paradise. But really we should be doing everything that we do in life for the love of our Creator. We love Allah, therefore we should serve Allah from our heart, not out of fear, not out of expectation for some sort of a reward, but really we should be doing it because this is our purpose. We were created to serve Allah, to worship Allah, and we should be doing it from our heart. And of course we're not perfect, we all make mistakes, and I'm first I'm not perfect in any way, and I'm constantly trying to improve, and we all have our weaknesses and vices and so on, but we should always ask for forgiveness from the Creator, and Allah is the most merciful. And I'm kind of greedy in Allah's mercy in the Day of Judgment, and I have big expectations that Allah, out of His mercy, He will forgive me for anything that I've done wrong or any errors that I've made, and so on. Okay, so Islam is a big thing for me. It's my biggest passion, and it's the core of everything else. And then secondly, of course, economics. I've got a very deep interest in economics. I studied economics at university as well, academically. I've got an interest in the financial market. I've always had this question in my mind: how does money work? How is wealth created? And I've got this interest in investing in natural resources. Some of you that might know me end up watching this channel. You know that I'm quite heavily invested in natural resources, although in the year 2020 I've lost pretty much all my investments. I've lost over 99% in that sector. I was overexposed, but that's another topic. I'll maybe create another separate video about the mistakes, like I said, mistakes that I've made in investments, and the high risks that I've taken, and it cost me dearly at the end. Alhamdulillah, and we all learn from our mistakes. And so that's a big thing. So I'm really passionate about natural resources, so I've invested quite heavily in that area, and I'll continue doing that inshallah as well. And it's through Allah, the risk is fixed, so we make and lose money. At the end of the day, it's all in the hand of Allah. And that, like I said, I evolve everything around Islam and our purpose in life. Business as well is a big thing. I like doing business, not just about making money, or I'm not, to be honest with you, I'm not someone that's kind of in love with wealth and all these materialistic things. I mean, Allah's taken this out of my heart, so I don't get excited by seeing brands or cars, or have this dream to drive a particular brand of car or anything like that. I don't have that in my heart. I don't have this desire for a luxurious lifestyle, or a house with a swimming pool and all that stuff. As long as I have a good enough apartment, I'm comfortable, it's reasonable size, not oversized or anything, just a reasonable size for me. I'm satisfied with my apartment. That's alhamdulillah for me. The rest of the wealth, I can do other things in my life. So yeah, I'm build a business and help others as well. So that's one of the things that drives me about business, is really to get success. I'm driven by success, and finding a problem, giving a solution, and that's pretty much what really drives me into going into business, and having that aspiration from a very young age to become an entrepreneur. Technology, a big thing. I'm a software engineer by profession. It's my main business as well, software development for the financial market. So that's one of the biggest areas for me. But I want to share some of that knowledge in programming, and of course I have some opinions and some suggestions, and maybe quite a bit of people will disagree with me, especially when I start talking about programming languages, which is an area that I'm really passionate about. And there's a lot of opinion out there where people will say right time is more important over runtime. So how quick can you develop a solution? So they always advocate easy languages to learn, easy languages to programming in, and that way you can write a program a lot quicker. And it's not so important how the performance is or how efficient the program is. It might take a long time to execute, but that's not important, because it's always cheaper to find software engineers with Python developers or JavaScript developers than finding someone that is like C++, for example. And so finding someone a very high level language than a low level language. So they always advocate that right time is more important than runtime. But I'm at the opposite end. I believe that runtime, efficiency, eco-friendly development, that is far more important, and it really makes a big difference on how much energy you use as in the form of electricity, for example, depending on the programming language. It has a big impact. There's a lot of research on that area. So I'm someone that's kind of advocating that runtime and efficiency and energy efficiency and resource efficiency and all that stuff is important than the right time. So learning and developing something efficiently and securely and all that stuff is far important than how quick can you develop. So I prefer that you do what is hard today so your life can become easy, not the other way around. Not do what is easy and then your life becomes hard in the future. So that's my personal opinion in the development side. I will talk about that more. I'll share some of the programming strategies and programming languages and the research that I'm doing at a PhD level as well. I'll share that in future videos. This is one of the biggest passions for me. And like I also mentioned in the beginning, the purpose of the channel, I'm really also passionate about health and fitness. So I would like to also cover that on the channel. It's a main area. So and I'm always interested on exercise, how to improve your body, how to improve your health. If someone's suffering, say, from diabetes, how can they recover completely? Of course, people have they have different elements, and they might be suffering at different, like type A, type B, so they can have, there's different strategies for each person how they can live with their disease or issues, health issues, and how to sort of work around that. So I would give my opinion. Of course, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a medical doctor, I'm someone that's just self-studied medicine. I've self-studied health and fitness. I was into bodybuilding quite heavily when I was younger. I would go to the gym 4 or 5 times a week, as well as swimming every day. I used to swim daily, and I used to walk, I used to jog, I used to do about 10 miles twice a week as well. So there was a lot of activities I was doing in my younger years. And of course, as you get older, it gets a little bit more difficult. And of course, the strategies that I use now has to obviously adapt to the age and the metabolism rate and everything else. But I will share I'll share that with you as well in future videos, inshallah, as well. So I'm making big commitments here, and inshallah I achieved those commitments. And I would like to say that this whole channel, now I'm going to put a plan together for the next 7 years, because you can't make a big change in your life very quickly. You can't make £1 million, get rich quick. So avoid all these people out there on the internet that talk to you about, you can make £1 million within 12 months and all that stuff. I used to think that when I was younger, and I used to always jump on these hypes and stuff like that, and I tried the various things. I went into network marketing. I made some big investments, high risk investments. Things didn't work out at the end. So yeah, it's always better to build consistently, not too slow, but have a plan, a 5-year, 10-year plan, and work at it for that period. Maybe in the first 1 or 2 years you might not achieve very much, and then it might take off in the 3rd year or the 4th year, and then you will make your 5-year at that point. So it does take time. It takes consistency, it takes hard work, it takes dedication. So it's a long-term plan. You can make it, you can achieve your goals in life, but you have to have a decent size time frame. Not just say, okay, I want to achieve this within 12 months. It's unrealistic. It depends what the goal is. If you within 12 months you want to make, save £10,000 or have something small, then yeah, maybe you can achieve that. You can make £1,000 a month, or a few hundred on the first month, and then sort of keep increasing gradually. By the end of 12 months you can achieve 10,000. It depends on the goal size. But if you're someone that's thinking, okay, I want to build a business that's going to make £1 million turnover, yeah, you need to have a reasonable size time frame, because in that time frame you have to learn a lot of skills, you have to develop yourself, you have to improve your way you do things, your performance. You have to improve quite a lot of things. So maybe first 2 or 3 years you're improving things, you're learning new skills that you need to build that business, and then the rest of the time you're now performing. So yeah, storming, forming, and performing. That's the strategy that I'll be talking about in a future video. And yeah, so that's pretty much what I want to talk about in this video. Is really what the purpose of my channel is now. What I'm doing. It's pretty much it's evolving around me as a personality. I'm not after fame or fortune from this channel, but what I am trying to do is I'm trying to share my life with you, give you this sneak peek in my life, and invite you to also contribute to me as well. So it's a two-way activity. I'm sharing my experiences, someone might share their experiences or challenges, and then maybe I can make another video and kind of like respond to that and share some of my if I face the same challenge and how I overcome that, or my opinion on how they can possibly overcome that particular challenge that they have in their life. So everyone's different. We all have different tests in life. We all start at different points in life. So yeah, there could be things that I've never gone through before, different challenges that you might be going through right now, and I haven't gone through it myself, but I can only talk about what I've gone through and how I've resolved that, or whether I've succeeded or failed, and why I failed, and how I've improved my technique. And so yeah, I could talk about these things, and yeah, you can also share your knowledge, and I encourage everyone to do the same. Yeah, create a YouTube channel and share your knowledge as well, because we're all here for one purpose. We have to help each other succeed in life, irrespective whether you're a Muslim, non-Muslim, and a Jew, or whatever. It doesn't matter what belief system, or if you don't even believe in a creator. Share your experiences. Share your questions in life. If you're searching for something, yeah, share your questions, and then maybe myself or anyone else that might be even more knowledgeable than me, they could also give you some advice or recommendations, or point you in the right direction, at least to where you could research and find. But God, Allah, only guides those who seek guidance. So if you're not seeking guidance, the chances are, yes, miracles can happen, the sky can open, and all these things can happen. Allah's capable of doing everything, but the reality is, the law of the universe, the law of Allah, is that you have to first seek to get. You have to be searching. You have to go and study something for you to gain that knowledge. It's not going to come knocking on your door. You have to do a business. You have to take the first step. You have to meet your luck halfway. If you don't go out there and seek business, or seek if you're trying to improve your financial income or something, you have to do something. You can't just sit at home and say, I want to be rich, I want to make £1 million, I want to make 10 million, I want to become a billionaire, and sit at home and expect somehow someone's going to knock on your door and hand over £1 billion to you. Yes, it's possible, miracles can happen, you might inherit money, but the reality is you've got to work for it. You have to put in the effort, you have to seek it to get it. So first of all, this is what you have to do. And yeah, we're going on this journey together. You could follow my guidance, or you could choose to follow someone else, or whatever. It doesn't matter at all. I'm not asking you for some sort of, I'm not trying to sell a course or something like that, like some of these people online where they try to sell you. I don't believe in that at all. I believe if someone's got some knowledge, they should just give it out, share it, put it out in the world. Someone benefits, because ultimately what we're after, we're not after wealth in this world, we're after our payments from the Creator. And therefore, whatever activity we do, Allah's aware of it. He knows what we're doing and our intentions in our heart. What is our intentions for? Is to do good, to contribute to society, or are we trying to harm other people? Only Allah knows. Only Allah knows what's inside the heart. Therefore, we expect our payments from the Creator. Yeah. So this is the way we should be thinking. And also, my own opinion and my own advice to anyone watching: whenever you try to embark on any area in life, whether it's education, whether it's business or work, or anything, or even investment, always think, is this investment, or is this business, or is this particular knowledge, is that gonna benefit society and benefit me, or is it only going to have benefit to myself? If this is my own opinion now, okay? If it's just going to benefit you financially and only improve your life only, I personally would just avoid it. I would just put that aside and focus on a venture that will have a social contribution, one, and secondly, it will benefit you. Because obviously, you're not going to live on air. You need to buy food, you need to pay your rent, you need to buy a property, you need to do all these things, okay? Don't go to excesses, but at least do something for yourself in this world. But also you have to do something that will benefit society, benefit the world, benefit humanity, and benefit you in the afterlife as well. So if it's just, I'm going to start up a YouTube channel, I'm going to make prank videos like a lot of the youngsters are doing, what's that going to do? It's just going to make people laugh. It's not going to benefit them by anything. In fact, you might give someone a heart attack if you try to scare someone, you do a prank on someone. They might have like a heart condition or something, and you might cause harm to them. So what you're really doing is wasting time. Yes, you are making money. I'm not saying that you're not making. Yes, you might be making money. A lot of people like wasting time, and they'll watch the videos, and you can make a revenue stream as from your YouTube channel, TikTok, whatever. But it has no social contribution. It has no benefit. It's not going to increase or improve life for anyone else. It might just improve your life because financially, your bank balance might increase, but it's not going to add value to knowledge. It's not going to add value to humanity. It's not going to add anything to you in the afterlife. In fact, it might do the opposite for you. You might actually be accumulating sins in the afterlife, and this could be a means for you to go to hell, basically, if you're just wasting time, because God didn't create us to be here and waste time and waste our energy on something useless. He's brought us here for a purpose to improve the quality of life for others and ourselves. First others and then ourselves. Okay, service to many leads to greatness. So if you want to be someone that's great and achieve a lot and be successful in life, think first to service others, serve others, find problems and then try to tackle these problems, create a solution, and that solution will benefit and solve other people's problems. And the more problems you solve for others, your problems will go away. And that's how it works. You have to pay it forward. Whatever knowledge you get, share it. More people learn, more people benefit. God will also reward you and create opportunities for you and increase your wealth as well in this life, and ultimately the wealth in the akhirah, which is your good deeds points. If you have points in the akhirah, you're getting more points, and maybe even increase you in ranks, as it could be a perpetual charity for you. Even if once you pass away and you're no longer here, you can't do anything, you can't do any more good deeds, you can't benefit anyone anymore when you pass away. But whatever you've done in the past, whether it's sharing knowledge or you've built a business which is benefiting society in a different way, created employment, that kind of stuff, that also can add points to you even when you're not even around. And that could also be used to raise you up in paradise, in Jannah. And ultimately that should be our goal. But like I said in the beginning, we really shouldn't be just striving just to go to paradise, but we really should be fulfilling our obligations and our purpose in life, because that is what we're created for. This is our purpose, and we should do it. We're doing it all from the love of Allah, for what Allah has given us in blessings, whether it's our eyesight or even realization. The greatest gift, more than my eyesight, in my personal opinion, is Allah guiding me into Islam. Allah giving me understanding and realization what the pure message of Islam is, and not creating that division between us, or people they set up different parties and they have this and this brotherhood, and they're trying to make divisions between society. But what we should be doing is looking at what is common between us and building on that, based on the revelations that came from Allah. Looking at the Quran as the final revelation, learning what's there, learning what Allah is expecting from us, and also looking at the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, peace and blessings be upon him, and seeing how he lived his life and how he solved certain problems, what he said and what he done, and also seeing how the companions, the people that were around the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, peace and blessings be upon him, how they implemented. Because If they did anything wrong, or they implemented his advice in the wrong way, the Prophet was around at the time and he could used to correct them. Actually, you shouldn't be doing this. Like Bilal, for example, when he did some bartering of dates, he exchanged, I can't remember the quantity of dates, like say 1 kilo, he took 1 kilo of good quality dates and exchanged it for 2 kilos of bad quality dates, for example. And the Prophet told him, this is incorrect, this is the essence of riba, this is the essence of interest. So you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't exchange two commodities in that way. And he gave him the correct advice when you make any sort of bartering transaction or exchanging of the same commodity, how it should be exchanged. And he told us about how the money creation should be done correctly, so we can avoid inflation, avoid all these negative side effects that's being faced today. So a lot of the solutions to problems that we're currently facing today, is already been solved from the 1,400 years ago by the Prophet Muhammad. So you either can take the best solution, which is the divine solution, and Allah who created us knows what's best for us. We don't need to reinvent the world or try to come up with something, man-made law or man-made system that will never succeed. It will always be flawed. Why not just adopt the divine solution? Because Allah created all of us. He knows what's good for us. He knows what the best is, how to have the best economic system, what's the best political system, what's the best social system, what's the best diet system. If you're doing a diet and you want something that's benefit your body, what's pure and good food for us as human beings. If we just follow what Allah does, we will have a happier, more peaceful, successful life. Unfortunately, some people, they think they're smart and they think they can come up with something better, so they always try to reinvent the wheel and always try to find out a better way, come up with a better solution, and they will ultimately at the end fail. And like you're saying, what's happening all over the world right now, all these wars, all these problems, all these issues, inflation, governments are corrupt and they're exploiting people for their selfish gains. All these contracts, what's going on, insider trading, all that stuff is purely because they have abandoned the prophetic way and Allah's divine rules to live your life peacefully and successfully. And once, inshallah, we do go back to that, you will see the real, true golden age. You will see poverty being eradicated, equal distribution of wealth, stability, and also wealth. When someone earns money, it's not going to devalue through inflation. This will be all eradicated. I can guarantee you that. This is something that I've been researching for several years now, and the solution is there in black and white. We could do it. In fact, one of the rightly guided khulafa, leader, khalifa means leader. Khalifa is not someone that's part of like some sort of Islamic state and whatever. Khalifa just means someone who is entrusted as a ruler. Okay, and one of the greatest amongst many that from the past was Omar ibn Abdul Aziz. You can go research his life and how he within 2 years eradicated poverty, created wealth distribution. Of course, there were this really upper class and the elite and the very low class and extreme poverty. He merged the two, so he created a fair structure in society where it's very narrow between the wealthy and middle class, and there's no low class, and created everyone at a very good level where everyone was satisfied, everyone was content. And when they had the charity, which tax in Islam is 2.5%, when people were contributing 2.5% of their wealth, their 12 months saved up wealth, they contributed 2.5%. They couldn't distribute that to anyone because part of the rule is, whatever goes in the treasury from that 2.5% has to be distributed out to the poor, and they couldn't find any poor people to accept the donations and the contributions. So they used to donate that money to the poor in Europe. So when Europe was in the Dark Ages and they had tyrant leaders, they would take that wealth and they distribute it to the poor in France, in all over Europe, And of course this angered the monarchy in Europe, because they seen it as a way of this could be influencing their their subjects or the citizens of their country to maybe get attracted to Islam. But it wasn't like that at all. It was just, here's some money, there's no strings attached, here's some food, we'll ship food to you, to your countries, and there's no strings attached. It wasn't like, we will give you this wealth, in exchange you have to do something for us. So it wasn't like that. It's like, this money, we have this money, here's some of our wealth. We have excess produce this year, instead of it going rotten, we'll just give it to you. Here's some food, we've satisfied here, we've got enough food for us, here's the extra food for you as well. So why not think like in that way, where you're serving humanity, you're not just serving the Muslims. Allah in the Quran doesn't say killing a Muslim is worse than killing the whole of mankind. He said that killing any human, any life, kill anyone, is as if you've killed the whole of mankind. So whether you kill a Muslim, a Jew, a Christian, a non-Muslim, doesn't matter. Allah's the one that gave life to us, and He's the one that only He has the right to take life, because He gave you the life and He could take it. No one can go out there and take someone else's life. No one could go out there and start saying, oh, we need to topple this government, or we need to do this, or these people are evil, because we don't know what's in their heart. Maybe they're under pressure from certain from the shadow governments, from different people, and they are in that situation. That's why they're adopting a secular system, or they're adopting man-made laws. So we cannot criticize them. If you ever become the leader of a country, then let's see how you can perform and how you can adopt things. But however, no one should desire that, because it's a big burden, because you'll be held accountable for every single citizen in that country. You wouldn't be just held accountable for for just your life or your own family, whatever. You'll be held accountable for every single citizen. So if you're now a leader of a country that's got 100 million, a population of 100 million, you'll be held accountable for every single individual in that country. So if anyone's going through any difficulty, you'll be accountable for that person. If someone's going to sleep hungry, or they die from hunger, you'll be held accountable, because you was the leader. You could have improved things. But that's if you are in that position of authority. If you're not in a position of authority, you're not going to be held accountable for that. You only do your best, and you should always ask yourself, just like what they have, don't ask what your country could do for you, ask what you can do for your country. So everyone should be thinking that, instead of pointing the finger at the government. I know there's corrupt governments and bad politicians and bad leaders, and there's corruption. There's no doubt about it. I'm not saying to you what they're doing is correct. It's completely wrong. It's completely incorrect what's going on in the world, and how the world is being run right now by these corrupt leaders. I totally agree with everyone here, but we should also not focus on the government. Instead of saying, oh, the government's so corrupt, they're not doing this and they should be doing this. How about starting with your own life and trying to improve your life, and think, how could you contribute to others without anything in return, without thinking, what's in it for me? No, just think, how can I help someone else? How can I contribute to society? How can I benefit others? How can I solve someone else's problem without anything in return? I don't expect a thank you. You don't expect anything. You just do it for the sake of Allah, because this is what Allah created you for. Allah created you to serve others, to help others. So Allah created you for this purpose, made you the Khalifa on earth, not just the leader of a country, but your own Khalifa in life. So that's I'm kind of running over time. I need to start work now, and so I hope you enjoyed this video. I got to give you a little bit of insight into my life and the way I'm thinking. If you enjoy it, do subscribe. Do like this video. If you don't have to subscribe. No problem at all. So yeah, thank you and welcome to my channel. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh.